Welcome to Gun News Review. Officials in Louisiana have blocked two of the nation's largest banks from involvement in a $600 million road financing plan because they have policies restricting gun sales and manufacturing by their commercial customers. The State Bond Commission, in a narrow vote, refused to allow Citigroup and Bank of America to work as underwriters on the interstate highway financing deal. Those pushing to exclude Bank of America and Citigroup from the financial work said by enacting firearm restriction policies for their corporate customers, the banks were violating Second Amendment rights. Opponents say the move exceeded the Commission's authority and would force Louisiana into costly litigation. U.S. Attorney General Jeff Sessions this week warned that anyone who makes a so-called undetectable gun will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law, noting it has been illegal to do just that. Sessions' statement followed a brief by the Department of Justice Wednesday that urged a federal judge to rescind a block on publishing the 3D blueprints. That injunction came after 19 states and the District of Columbia argued that the guns were untraceable and could be a boon to criminals and terrorists. Some news stories are still confusing 3D guns with undetectable guns and even with guns that are made of other materials by a private individual. Arkansas Governor Asa Hutchinson says he would be open to a red flag law in his state. Hutchinson told the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette newspaper he would consider supporting the legislation which allows judicial orders to temporarily seize firearms from people deemed to be a risk to themselves or others. The governor's comments came in reaction to an investigation by the newspaper which found that more than 8,000 people were killed by gunfire in the state between 1999 and 2016. Paper saying that's the seventh worst in the nation on a per capita basis. The Republicans said entering state-level information into a federal background check system and helping federal authorities crack down on felons in possession of guns are two practices that could have a positive impact on violence involving guns. More than a dozen states have passed red flag laws, including Indiana, a state governed by Republicans. Following another car attack in London, that city's mayor has suggested a possible car ban in certain areas of the city. Mayor Sadiq Khan suggested the idea during an interview with the BBC following Tuesday morning's terror attack outside the Houses of Parliament. In that incident, a 29-year-old Sudanese Muslim immigrant injured 3 people after he crashed his car into cyclists and pedestrians and then into the barriers lining the Houses of Parliament. Khan told BBC Radio that making certain areas only available to pedestrians would provide more safety to both citizens and buildings in the surrounding area. This is despite the UK's strict gun control laws, which have failed to stop all attacks with guns, and also there have been suggestions of knife control. 3 Texas professors have not decided to pursue a case after a federal appeals court ruled against them after they sued to overturn the Texas law allowing guns on campus. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton said in a statement the lawsuit was filed because the professors disagreed with the law, not because they had any legal substance to their claim. The professors now have the option to ask the full appeals court rather than the 3-judge panel to rehear their case, or they can take the issue to the U.S. Supreme Court. You're listening to Gun News Review. Kentucky Democratic State Representative Jim Wayne has proposed a bill that would require gun owners to keep their guns secured. Wayne made that proposal shortly after a 2-year-old boy was shot in the head Wednesday morning in Louisville. The 2-year-old was last reported in critical condition. Investigators believe the shooting was accidental and self-inflicted. Wayne believes a public hearing on his proposal this summer could help it pass next session. Cleveland's News 5 TV station reporting some veterans and concealed carry instructors in the city have safety concerns over a new law allowing veterans and military service members to obtain a concealed carry permit without required training. Senate Bill 81 will become a law without a signature from Governor Kasich, allowing veterans to get their concealed permit without the usual fees and the required 8 hours of classes. One veteran told the TV station that he believes some veterans don't have an understanding of current state law when it comes to concealed carry's do's and don'ts. He said veterans should be at least required to read a pamphlet and take a small quiz on Ohio concealed carry laws. And Oregon police say a woman in northeast Portland thwarted an attack inside her apartment by brandishing a permitted concealed handgun from her purse. It happened late last month. She told police she noticed a man in the lobby of her secure building, and he followed her into the elevator and then to her apartment. She told police the man took $60, then pulled down his pants and exposed himself and asked her to perform sex acts. Documents say she then drew the handgun from her purse, prompting the man to run off. You've been listening to Gun News Review, comprehensive and concise.